Alrighty, guys, we are live here for another PDOCS Weekly live stream, and as I talked about a little in the post I did a couple of hours ago, and this week's episode is once a month I kind of go live and do kind of a miscellaneous or hodgepodge. I don't necessarily have a specific lesson or curriculum built out, but I do have some topics and subjects to cover. I mentioned in the post I want to go through some of the stuff I'm working on behind the scenes, show you guys a little about how we practice what we preach. I want to dive into some DM conversations and kind of double down on that, and then show you some other metrics and results and some things we're seeing. So when I talked about what we're going to start off with and some of the stuff I'm working on behind the scenes, you guys know at PDOCS one of our big strategies and one of our acquisition methods is through MBPs, mutually beneficial partnerships. Big part of what I teach, big part of what we do, big part of how we've grown all of our companies. So there's a couple, and that's one of kind of the roles that I'm heading up within the company lately. Me and a couple of team members are running a department just about new joint ventures and new mutually beneficial partnerships as the primary objective of this team or department, right? So just really quickly, there's a couple I'm currently working on. So we'll see here, this is a distribution agreement that one of our MBPs sent over to us that is signed. I'm not going to go through it all because it hasn't been fully announced yet. This just got signed yesterday and solidified. This has been 3 or 4 months in the making. Some of you guys may have already known, but I'll have a much more formal announcement, once we meet and just solidify the details. But everything's been signed, and in return, we had a JV agreement for that same company, right? So I've just removed the company name out of there for certain reasons, and obviously we go through, and ours is very, very simple. Ours is a simple 3-page agreement, and then down at the bottom for signature. So these are just a couple of the things I'm working on, or this is one of the larger MBPs and one of the ones I'm more excited about, and I can't wait to get together with those guys and announce it, collectively once we finalize a couple things on a call a little later today. Actually, I meet with those guys in a couple hours just to finalize everything since it just got signed yesterday. This is a different, smaller MBP where basically the expectations, and I'll talk a little about the way this came to be, right? So I get a lot of these through old organic conversations or current organic conversations when they pan out. So when I'm doing organic outreach, I kind of have a 2-prong approach to who I'm targeting. Not to say I might not deviate or widen or broaden that, but generally speaking, I'm looking to connect with people who I think are ideal clients and prospects for my products, services, offers, content. And I'm also looking to find other people who are as or more established or sophisticated for potential partnerships, so I can learn from them to possibly, swap clients, possibly book them for, guest interviews on these live stream series, et cetera, et cetera. So I kind of personally right now, that's kind of my approach when I'm doing these. I'm looking for, person A and person B. If I don't think they're within that spectrum, I won't even send a connection request or accept one, kind of. So that's just my thought process on how some of these form. So by always doing organic outreach, by always, producing content, stories, reels, YouTube clips, posts, stuff in groups, school communities, by having all of these aspects and constantly producing content, I'm getting people that reach out to me for a lot of these, which are great. Actually, both of these, this person did the initial outreach to start these relationships. Now, the department I'm currently working on, we have a strategy to do the outreach for these as well. But it's great when they come to you and they're good fits. So this is a little more smaller personal one where the overall scope of things is this particular client basically, or this particular partner and MBP expects to send us about 3 to 5 high-ticket, high-paying data or DaaS clients per month. May we go beyond that? Sure, great. So this isn't anything that's going to be a total home run, but even that though, guys, think if you had multiple relationships where people were sending you already qualified, vetted, and pre-sold, just booking them into your calendar, right? And that's why I have, and I'm going to run through the document on my screen. But if you have multiple people sending you 3 to 5 ready to buy high ticket or, ideal clients per month. So these are still great relationships, and I don't look at them any differently. then I do the larger ones. I might get more excited about the larger ones because the scope and because of the synergy might be a little better than some of these smaller ones in terms of overall scope. But either way, these are all great relationships to have. This one particularly came, this is a guy who came through our PDOCS program, training challenge courses a couple years back. So he reached out to me and a couple other management members within my companies and sent us a really nice long outreach message, basically saying, hey, Ray, I went through your training a couple years ago. It really stuck with me. I implemented it into this business. I grew it and scaled it substantially over the course of 2 years. For whatever reason, market trends, or he dipped out of that, sold it, whatever it was. Now he started something new in the last 6 months that aligns more with Audience Lab in this particular partnership. So basically his clients and some of the people that he he works with and is a service provider and consultant and does services for are basically Audience Lab's ideal clients in terms of agencies, looking to scale, add more profit, add in extra line items of revenue, and overall really just be able to stand out from the competition and deliver better results to their clients. So that's first and foremost. I would say in addition to that, there's multiple other, areas or applications, but I would probably spend a lot of time on that. So I just kind of want to get back into the document and going back into that. But anyway, Donald reached out to us basically saying, I implemented this into this business. Now I'm running this business. I think there's a lot of synergy with Audience Lab. I don't really have the time to run my own DaaS agency or necessarily sell and build my own agency, but I would love it based on our relationship and how you guys perform and how great your platform is if I could just refer clients over and we can work out some type of, performance-based compensation. So that's what we worked out. So then what's on my screen is all the, what I call pre-sale resources. If somebody wants to pre-sale and pre-qualify, a bit about our company blog. I want to show him because this particular MBP and the ones we're looking for are going to go above and beyond. So they're not just going to find the stuff that necessarily falls in their lap, but they're going to run their own ads, their own email campaigns, their own marketing strategy. So I show them existing examples of messaging, ads, angles, and hooks that we've had success with selling data, right? I give them our ideal pre-call resource or our VSL. We like to have people watch to educate that are unfamiliar or unaware of the platform before booking a call, right? So all these different things come in handy. Why is that still on the screen? Next is just a document, kind of an in-depth doc going over the features and deliverables, which anybody should have if they are promoting or affiliating with your service and selling it ultimately, or taking a commission to book people. Some of our best pre-call resources, and you'll see down here tutorials, lead magnets, and best kind of master classes to send people. How to book people into our calendar, how to see pricing of all of our packages, very transparent. Here's some of my sales call recordings so you can understand some of the lingo and some of the people that we're attracting so you can go to that audience. Here's a pitch deck. I know you're not going to be doing many calls, but if you want to create resources or things outside of what we've pre-created for you, here's some pitch decks that you can use and just rebrand and swap out the first slide with your own brand name, image, what have you, right? And then more information, and you'll see what I build into some of these. So this is a pretty similar document. I just didn't have, this one's built out for a different person or a different partnership. But also, I already had these sent over to the other guy. That's where they weren't included in the document. But I include some of our case studies and testimonials in addition to the pitch deck that I provide to these clients, the Canva deck. Which has, 6 to 12 case studies embedded in there. Here you can go through and see some more in real time through some of these resources that you might want to share. So whatever they go through here, I work with these guys in terms of best applications and how to be most successful. Obviously, just like our clients, just like our students, just like our team members, we want our mutually beneficial partners to become successful with it and give them all the resources. Matter of fact, the guy I was at, Donald, the screen before, he and I did a one-on-one call yesterday because he had some questions about certain things. So I sent him this, but then, I gave him the best applications on how to use it, what all these resources are for, where we use them in our particular process, and how our process looks, how our sales process is built out. I provide them with all the resources they could need. There's other stuff, but this is kind of the main type of stuff. So again, what I want you guys to take out of this is have your eyes open to other partnerships. Let me talk about that just a little bit more on an overall level. What I'm generally looking for is not necessarily, or not really ever, like competitors and competition and people serving the exact same market per se. Well, let me rephrase, not the exact same market with the exact same solution or product or service, right? But I do look for people that are serving the exact same market. For instance, Audience Labs kind of ideal clients are agencies doing somewhere between 20 and 50K a month, looking to scale with a less fulfillment, less saturated, higher profit margin business model, right? So there's all kinds of other people that serve them that aren't data providers, right? That if I can partner with them and have them get my product in front of their audience and give them a percentage, it's a win-win-win, especially if the two products or services complement one another. For instance, let's say you have some type of, what's a popular one, right? AI voice outreach. So AI voice outreach is great, but if you don't have a lead base to deploy it to, your clients probably won't get much success and might not stay on your platform very long or keep using it. What if we could give you access to our database to give to all of your clients? They can go in and get a free list of 1,000 leads, and then if they want to re-up, they come into our database and we'll sell them more, right? So now they'll get better success because not only do they have an outreach tool, automation, AI, but they also have a lead list to deploy it to. We help people build in-market custom audiences that they can run ads, emails, calls, SMS, run their marketing and their outreach to, right? So I can just look for other companies that are serving a similar market. In this case, hey, look at this other, let's take a CRM or some type of other software. Which other software is made for agencies and companies? Sorry for the dog interruption. I'll have to either calm her down in a minute. She probably sees a delivery coming. Yep, people out in the driveway. So bear with the background noise for a minute. Sorry, I don't want to just mute and leave this on dead air. But yeah, as I was talking about with the MBPs, right? I might look for other people looking for CRMs, because generally people looking for CRMs have existing businesses. They have databases. They have client and lead lists to store. They have products to sell. They're looking for some of the features to, build in outreach, right? All that stuff usually goes hand in hand with people that are looking to get more leads, better targeted audience, looking to drop their costs on leads, acquisition, et cetera, all things that tie into our solution and our platform. So that's one of the main things I look for, is other people in the industry serving a similar or the exact same market but has a totally different product and solution. It's best, and what I really look for, is when they complement one another, when they give the end user, the consumer, a better overall result by having both of these products or services rather than one standalone service, right? So that's one way I look at it. The other way I look at it is, who already has an existing business, agency, coaching business, consultancy, whatever, it doesn't matter the type of business, who already has a business that's serving my ideal client. So again, let's say my ideal client is agencies, doing over, again, between 20 and 50K. Like, who is a company that's already working with those businesses, right? And I know some of the larger consulting firms that help those. I know some of the larger, data companies that are working with them, right? If they're not already working with data companies. A great example, for instance, is if you're more B2B, like if you're going to service-based businesses, you're going to other brands, advertisers, you run more of a marketing-based company or marketing-based agency, right? Let's say your ideal client is, roofing companies doing 10 jobs a month, looking to get to 20 jobs a month, right? So what type of companies are already serving roofers? And we know there's companies like Angie's List and Home Advisor. Is that one I would necessarily try or want to partner? I don't know necessarily, just because of their end result isn't great and they sell a bunch of shared leads. They don't have anything exclusive about their IP. They're just a huge database that people know, and they spend a lot of money to acquire a client. So I might want to look for a smaller company that does marketing specifically for roofers, and then I can go say, hey, you're already working with roofers that are spending money on ads each month and that are driving traffic to a website. What if I could give you higher targeted in-market audiences so you can drop their ad costs? What if I could give you identity resolution technology to resolve the identity of their bounce visitors or their anonymous traffic, and we can retarget them in very targeted promotional ads and emails. So I can show him ways like, hey, now what I look for in these partnerships is I find this agency, adore, quiet. I find this agency already working with or currently serving that client. I show them, hey, I don't even want to be, you're the face. You're already in a relationship with them. You're already working with them and showing them results, which means they're much more likely to take your next suggestion. So I just want to provide him with the product, have him take it to his client. He becomes the hero. Hey, I can get you lower costs. I can get you better targeted audiences. I can get you resolved identities and be able to pinpoint and identify your web traffic that's not currently opting in. These will all be great marketing tools to help us get to our goal of 20 roofs per month or whatever they're trying to get, right? So I work out a deal where he can take my product and my service to his clients. He can go sell it, and whatever the profit margin is, I usually split at about a 50-50 lick in this case, after all my costs. Profit, not the gross amount of the deal, the net, right? So again, those are kind of the two ways I look. I think starting out, before I'm more established, I understand why you would want to be a bit more established and have more, resources and more internal infrastructure and assets before you go for some of those larger ones, the ones where like somebody's already serving your client. For instance, we did a really big one, I don't know, a little over a year ago, right, with a company that was spending $250,000 per month in ad spend, and they were driving only the clients that clicked on their ad, that booked a call, that showed up and bought their product. Only those people, actual buyers, people with intent that they knew would benefit, they would send those people over into our platform. So even if we're not running marketing, right, another company spending $250K per month on ads is driving our ideal clients and people that we know are buyers and have a budget right into our platform and our funnel. And that was a great partnership. That one worked because, again, they were serving the very same market. So when they had people that were buyers and came in, they could benefit from our product. In addition to that, that client was one of our biggest case studies. They used our data. They got phenomenal results. So they were happy to go offer it to their clients because they knew the efficacy and the ROI potential on it. So again, those ones are a little more sophisticated. I would agree. Not to say you can't try for those, but earlier on when I started doing MBPs, I was more looking for who's already got 10 or 20 of my ideal clients that can go take my offer, pitch it to them, and we can split the profit on the back end. He doesn't have any more work or fulfillment. His client gets extra results. I get clients that I would have never got. I don't have to do any cost of acquisition, any ads to get them, and I just split profit at the end. So it's all positive coming in. All costs are covered when you work out those deals in the end. So, and yes, you're only getting 50% of the profit, where if you do it all yourself, you get 100%. But number one, you have to do all that legwork that I talked about. And, number two, in addition to that, when you have to go get everybody, you're not going to know and you're not going to have the same relationship. So it's an easier deal for that client already working with them. And again, they already have 10 to 25 or whatever, more of your ideal clients. I just think that's a good place to look and start. So, couple things I'm always working on, again, behind the scenes, MBPs, and solidifying and working out and working with a couple of our recent partners, building out a strategy and a team internally to do outreach and get some new ones. And we've already set the parameters for our ideal clients, what we're looking for. They need to have communities, they need to have X amount of followers or views, and all the prerequisites we're looking for so they actually have an engaging audience. We have a couple of big MVPs that are coming out later in this year, probably late Q2, early Q3. Outside of the ones on my screen, some larger ones with some bigger names that you guys will all probably know. So those will be cool to go through. So I kind of just went live today, a minute or two late, and then I just kind of went off on what I wanted to cover, and I haven't really stopped talking. If you guys are watching live, in the PDOCS group right now, drop a comment, let me know you're watching live. If you have any questions, anything you've taken away from what I've talked about, anything you might want me to cover in more depth. Now, the other thing I was going to go over is some messenger conversations. So for instance, all right, this is the first one still up on my screen. This is a guy I literally just had a call with today, so let's just see where this just picked up right off the bat. So, okay, so this was yesterday, right? Today's Thursday, so this was yesterday, Wednesday, 6/17. He's like, hey, brother, watching the presentation. So he was on a live stream. He's in my free school community where he gets to see some of presentations live. This one last night was with Adam, talking about a lot of stuff on the platform, and he had a little confusion. He wanted me to clarify some stuff. So I wasn't sure if this guy was already in the platform or not. I know I'd been talking talking and sent him the link a little while back, but I wasn't sure if he signed up, and I didn't remember off the top of my head. And I just kind of, and then he's like, I kind of gave him some clarification as to what he was confused about there. So he just came back on saying, do you have time to talk later today? I was like, yeah, I gave him a time slot. I have available at 12:30 p.m. Yeah, that works great. I'll send invites soon. Yeah, are you emailing or posting link here? I was like, I sent to your email, but here's the link. We hopped on a call. He's enrolling today. If he hasn't already, I haven't checked my channel. There's a good chance he's already signed up. But I know he said he did have back-to-back meetings, so he might not have got to it till later today. But this is just a conversation that, if I go back to the beginning where it started, and again, this didn't happen overnight, right? Like this conversation now, I'm looking is going back to September of last year. Basically, he showed up to one of my live streams or commented on one of my posts or videos or something asking for more information specifically. So I think it was an ad, actually. I think he commented on an ad saying, hey, Ray, I'd like more information about this product or this program specifically. So I was like, all right, man, I'll send you a friend request once you accept. So this was in the ad thread, right, where he commented, hey, I'd like more info on this specifically. My reply is always to like his post, to reply so it tags his name, so he should automatically get 2 notifications, right? And then I say, hey, I just sent you a DM. Once you accept it, I just sent you a friend request. Once you accept it, I'll shoot the DM over to you, right? I don't want it to go to a spam folder where you can't see it. Cool. Once I saw he accepted, I send him over the thanks for the info. I watch the videos, but still not sure. I give him a little explanation. We stayed in contact. I did one call with him. So when was this? So hop on this link at 2 p.m. That was back in September. So that was months ago. I did a call with him, and he wasn't ready, and he was pretty clear about that. So he would message me every once in a while the last couple months when he saw something new or had a question. And now today he saw the live stream or the workshop last night, and today he was kind of ready. So that one was just on my screen. That wasn't one I really had scripted. I've noticed it's been doing a glitch. When I try to go in here and click on conversations, a lot of times it's taking me back to the people. Okay, I didn't do that this time. I don't know if you guys are seeing that. When I go into Facebook Messenger and I click on someone's name in here, sometimes it takes me right back to their profile instead of, and out of Messenger, right? Instead of just to the thread. So that didn't happen here. But let me just show you what I think is poor outreach, and let's just talk about it for a minute. And this one, I kind of called him out on it. I think I even, posted a screenshot or made a joke of it in one of my stories. But like, this is his initial outreach. So he sends a friend request. I accept. He starts with, hello, Raymond. Pleased to connect with you. I'm Abdul, CEO of Organic Media, a startup supporting appointment-setting professionals. How's your current system performing? Are you or your team hitting your call objectives? Right? So let's just stop and pause really quickly. When I break down outreach, whether it's my strategy and what I'm doing, or I'm assessing other outreach, good outreach, bad, or whatever. Right? I'm always assessing. It's just kind of what I do, and that's just kind of my PDOCS mind, always working and just breaking stuff down. Right? But basically, what is the objective here, guys? The primary objective is to get you to reply and say, no, we're currently not hitting our call objective. So he's looking for you to point out that you have a problem right now, or an obstacle or a challenge that his expertise solves, right? That's his initial message. I can damn near guarantee that this is scripted and it's a quantity play over quality, and he sends as many as Facebook allows him a day without getting banned, 50 to 100, whatever. It depends how you built it up and how you run your account. If you guys want more stuff on that, that could be a whole nother topic for, how to do outreach within Facebook's good graces, we'll say, because there's no set numbers. It varies depending on a lot of things. So that's, again, a whole nother conversation. But I break this down further, right? Now, number one, he says he's a startup. Number two, he's CEO of Organic Media. So organic, you got to be good at organic, right? Co-founder at Organic Media. So you should be good at organic outreach, I would think, right? So these are things I'm kind of reading into it. But anyway, my reply, and more so, what I do before I send an outreach message, hell, let me back it up. Before I even send a targeted friend request, I'm always doing it. I told you guys kind of who I'm targeting, but I always know one of two things. Number one, they've already kind of raised their hand and said, I need help under somebody else's post, under somebody else's ad, under one of my things. So I already know that they're looking to make money online. They're looking to close more deals, whatever, before I send the friend request. The other thing I always do, in addition, or not always, sometimes if I'm just looking to add people or something pops up in my recommended, or people, Facebook suggests you should add. What I always do, again, whether I did the first thing or not, and like if they were warm, if they commented on something or raised their hand, or I'm just sending a friend request, I always go what I kind of call stereotype their profile. I just mean research it. I'm kind of looking for four main things when I do that, and it also leads into how I'm going to do my outreach message. So this first message for me, as you guys know with my approach, is always custom, and it's all about them. I don't think he really said anything about me other than asking a question about hitting my call objectives, right? He didn't say, hey Ray, I saw you're a co-owner of this, you run this, it looks like you do this, I saw your recent post about this. Like, nothing to relate or build a personal relationship here, and he's just really talking about him. I'm Abdul. I'm a CEO of Organic Media. We do, we support appointment setting pros, right? So it's kind of all about him, right? So anyway, I reply saying yes, we are hitting our call objectives. So why I did that little sidebar for a second there is basically, if you think about it, if he went and stereotyped my profile like I would recommend, or like I do when I do outreach, he probably would have saw I'm the co-owner of a few businesses. He might have saw I run an organic outreach company. I run an offer and I train setters called DM Setter Academy. So like when it comes to organic outreach, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I know I'm pretty damn good, and I know what I know, right? So, I'm like, yes, we are. So what does he come back with? He comes back with his PDF or his lead magnet or whatever, right? I never actually clicked on it. Then he drops his Calendly link. So this is his whole messaging. Hey, I'm this, I do this. Are you hitting your objectives? He wants me to say no. He's looking for people who say no, right? Yes, we are. Okay, here's my PDF. And he doesn't even position it, guys. So, but if I'm ever sending a resource and my link, I would never do it like this. To me, this is just mind-boggling that this is somebody's outreach approach. I send one message. You say you don't have the problem we solve. Then I send you resource and Calendly link, right? It just cracks me up. And then he goes on to say, book any feasible time on the calendar, and we're almost there. So I'm thinking to myself, almost where? Right? Like, almost where? I don't have the problem you solve. I'm pretty damn good at this. I can go show you our metrics. We're booking 20, 30, 40 calls per day. Like, what are you going to show me? So I ghosted him there, right? It was just awful. And then he comes back the next day. I was going to leave it at that. I could do a couple things here. I could be nice. I could flip the script, which I like to do in these cases. But this time I just wanted to kind of call him out and let him know and hopefully make him think, hey, there's a different or better way without necessarily saying that. But he says, still with me, mate. I replied, why would I still be with you? This is an awful outreach approach with no appeal. And you're supposed to be an organic media company, yet you don't understand organic outreach? ? Good luck with this approach, right? And then, of course, he comes back with nothing. Not, okay, I'm sorry, what did I do wrong? How could I get better? Any insight? Maybe he probably just glanced over this, and because he's a law of average guy, is putting this into his number of no's he needs to get to a yes. Whatever. If that's your approach and you want to send out 50 DMs a day to get 10 people to actually open them, to get 4 people to actually reply, to get 1 or 2 people maybe to trickle in and book a call, do all that. Or you could do my way, and what I show setters on how you can do 15 connection requests and messages per day and still book a couple of calls consistently day in and day out. So, again, there's a quality or quantity approach. So I feel like that's awful outreach. Let's do another one that I thought was pretty rough. This one I just left. I didn't even reply to this one. I guess I could have. Again, I'm just giving a couple of the most recent. We all get outreach. We all get bad outreach. I just don't know if anyone ever breaks it down and analyzes it, and I just wanted to discuss really quickly. So basically, hey Raymond, how's your day going? I don't know, that's one of the worst openings ever to me. And then he comes with this, which again is scripted, all about him, not really asking anything about myself, right? So, help data tech and SaaS companies like yours scale. Even worked with, and no, if I read this the way he wrote it, help data tech and SaaS companies like yours scale. Even worked with Fortune 500 companies, Fortune companies, and have 4 years experience working with SaaS companies, right? So this is kind of like the outdated bios that people used to post of, I help X do Y without jumping over flaming hoops or without insert obstacle here, right? But this is just geared differently toward outreach and geared toward, he did at least target somebody who is involved with or a, decision maker within a data tech and SaaS company. So he targeted right, but his messaging and approach is all off, right? So maybe he's targeting well and he's just doing a quantity approach on messaging, because this messaging is awful. I don't know how many you would have to do to get a reply, and that's usually how I go into my flipping the script. I usually would come back here if I wanted to, and maybe I could do it in real time. Not that he's online right now. It'd be kind of funny, or I could show the next one. But I would say, hey man, does this actually work for you, this approach? And it'll be like, what are you talking about? Like, how many messages do you send like this a day to just get unread or ghosted? Do people actually reply to this? And they're going to be like, I send 50 to get 5 replies. Yeah, dude, that doesn't sound fun or very productive at all. Do you know there's a better way to outreach? Right? So I can very easily kind of flip the script. It'll be like, what are you talking about? Yeah, man, I have a dialed-in approach where I show people how to send about 15 requests and messages per day and consistently book 2+ calls, like clockwork, right? And they'll be like, well, how? And then, again, I could just go into it and inject a knowledge gap right after that. That is already kind of a knowledge gap. I would inject one more specific to my approach and the actual methodology behind it. But again, I thought that was pretty rough. Now, trying to see if it will let me bring this one up. Last time I tried to do this one, because of like Facebook's encrypted messaging and I'm on a different browser, last time it didn't let me bring up this conversation. Cool. So this was a pretty good one that turned into, I think he came on my live stream or became a client now. I want to go back to the beginning of the thread. I wanted to show you guys this one before and I can't even recall why. So, and again, this one's going back to last year sometime. This one's older. But, so this is how I already remember it. So this is how this one transpired. So I sent him connection request based on looking over his profile, and he ticked some of the buckets or the boxes that I was talking about in terms of my outreach approach. I like to say I have a very sniper targeted approach. So there's like the sniper approach, right, pinpoint, or there's the shotgun approach where I go wide and blast a lot of people in a lot of messages. I have the more, honed in targeted approach. Let's take the sniper rifle and pinpoint our shot, right? So anyway, every once in a while, and this is the outlier, I love when it happens, but when I send a connection request, once in a while they reach out first. And I remember in this case, this guy was real quick. Like within minutes of me connecting with him, he reached out to me really, really quick and just said, hey Ray, what's up? Have we met? That sometimes throws people off when they get that. I don't know why, because you can just handle it very honestly. I highly doubt it prior to right now. Nice to make your acquaintance. Being that you're in Las Vegas and I haven't been there since 2010, I doubt I know you. Nice. Was there something particular I could help you with? And that's where I go with my outreach message. Well, I was looking over your profile, Raphael, and I'm not really sure how Facebook's algorithm works, but they recommended you as somebody I, should connect with. And I'm always just looking to expand my network and always, grow my, always expand my network with other like-minded individuals, other people that are entrepreneurial based, other people that are critical thinkers, other people that are creative or creators. And just looking over your profile, it looked like you ticked some of those boxes. So I was just hoping to make an introduction. Looking forward to seeing some of your content. Talk to you soon. Right? He came back saying, oh, that's awesome. Yada, 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 right? We went back and forth a little bit, and I told him a little about my expertise. So he asked more in this one, and because I keep it all about him in this message, this voice note, and I know because they're voice notes, I can't show you the text, but I can break down exactly what was said as I just did. Since I kept it all about him, he comes back answering, and then his transition is, oh, right now I'm talking about myself a lot. Tell me more about what you do since we just connected. And I go in and give him some more in-depth stuff. And he had mentioned something about looking for building a sales team or something to do with sales, right? So I go on to tell him in terms of high-ticket sales, my business partner Jesse and I have a combined $33 million in closed deals over the last 4 years. If you'd like me to tell you a bit more about open position. So this was about a potential position, apparently, that I was looking for. Full and part-time primary, tasks you're looking for, skill set. So yeah, I think at this time I was kind of trying to figure out what he's looking for. He had said he was looking for salespeople, and he's also in sales, so he was looking for potential opportunities. So once I told him this, my expertise and kind of what are you looking for, rather than typing back, I love people that take the initiative. And again, when you do these conversations, right, this is pretty early in, right? So I sent connection requests. He reached out to me. This is 2 messages, but it kind of should have all been one. I just didn't say it all in one. Then a voice note, reaching out all about him. Then a voice note as human nature. He comes back asking about me. Now I talk about a little more about what I do, how it might, jive with his background and his expertise. I go on to give him a little more. He comes back saying, hey, do you have time for a quick Zoom call? right? I don't have to transition to that. I don't have the awkward, hey, book in and get my free thing, right? When you just come off, having an organic conversation and you are, because again, that goes back to like who I'm targeting, right? Because I knew very specifically, looking over his bio, his tagline, his recent posts, his call to action, I knew exactly what he does and what industry he's in. So I know when I send this message here, there's going to be synergy. Right, and then I'm away from my desk currently and picking up my daughter from dance class. Would have time tomorrow or Friday, whatever works. If I don't have HR, so this is what I'll be doing until the role is filled. Right? How's 11:30 PST? I can do 12 p.m. PST. That works. What's your email? Send you an invite because I was out. Cool. I'll let him take the initiative. Right. So he sends it. Then he sends the link. Be right on. Prior call just ending soon, under 5 minutes. Right. So let him know I was running a couple minutes late. We ended up connecting. He came on one of my live streams as an expert guest. He ended up working with us in Audience Lab and jumping into our platform or referring over some clients. And we have a very good relationship going forward. So that's just another organic conversation. So again, I wanted to go over some I didn't or couldn't pull up in the past. I wanted to go over a couple that I was going to critique and criticize that I didn't show you guys last time on here when I was doing messaging. And lastly, we can dive into a little of, I don't even know what I have up on my screen, and maybe I went through some of this last week on this. I forget if it was this live stream or the other one. So let's just go in and let's look at the end of the month because this is just like early in the month. But I want to show you, this is, now how did I get up to March 19th? What the hell's going on here? Bear with me 2 seconds as I scroll. I just want to show you again. I told you guys I'd show you some of like our productivity, and again, I don't recall if I did this on last week's live stream. If this is repetitive, feel free to tune out, but I'll keep it quick. So I just wanted to get to the like end of month. That would be a good one to show. I could just show an end of day report, I suppose. Those are certainly helpful as well. We got a lot of deals coming in between end of day reports on this one. Okay, so there's an end of day report, and we kind of get the month in there as well, right? So we'll see March 31st. This is end of day report. There would also be an end of month one that came later, but these are probably what the end of month numbers ended up, right there. So on this particular day, March 31st, 9,100 collected in cash, 7,100 in MRR going into the platform. That's billed already on to next month and future months. A total of 86,000 cash collected in that month. Total of just under 70,000, 69,000 and change in new MRR added in March. So if I even go up one day, oh no, that was the end of day report. So actually what I wanted to show you is another one. Let's see the call booking channel, and now we get, so it's going to show in this channel, it's going to show each booking that comes in individually, and then it's going to show like the end of day or end of whatever numbers. So there's probably going to be quite a few since we book, I don't know, 15 or 20 a day. So that was on April 2nd. We booked 18 that day, 15 via ads, 3 via the workshop sequence. Was that the last one in here? I'm sorry, what was that? April 2nd? Is that what it said? Yeah, so we wouldn't have another one. I think the day before we did better than that. That actually looks like less. Or maybe I have one updated report with numbers. Oh yeah, so that was 21 booked that day. And again, this is just our ads and our nurture sequence. This isn't through MBPs, and this isn't through any of our organic outreach and stuff like that. This is through our ads. So you could see, again, being very transparent, on April 1st, we spent $1,592. Obviously, since it's the first day of the month, that is our cost for monthly ad spend. Multiply that times 30 days, and you can see what we roughly spend a month. Our cost per appointment on that day was $88. That's a pretty good number. I think we fluctuate somewhere between, say, 75 being probably best and 150 on the high end. So when ads, creative things are dialed in better, we like to be seeing, those double-digit numbers. Under $100 appointment cost is always a really good metric for us to see based on our revenue created and cash collected per booking. It's more than well over $100. So that pans out very well. That's what you're looking for as a business owner when you get into some more advanced message. What does it cost me to book an appointment or acquire an appointment, right? And then what do I make on the back end per appointment, right? So that gets just divvied up over, let's say, 10 calls. 2 of them close, $5K per deal. That's $10K generated. 10 appointments generated. my revenue per booking or cash collected is 1,000 per appointment. It's 5K per closed deal, but you had 10 appointments. Your close percentage in that instance would be 20%, right? So again, just some more of the metrics and some more of the internal, tracking of our revenue, our cash collected, our daily or daily number of ads and daily number of monetary ad spend, daily amount, and daily number of bookings that we get and we generate from them. So I covered a lot. I didn't touch back into the comments once to see if anybody had any questions or comments or even really caught this live stream. I know most people will probably catch it in the replay. There is a few comments, all from JP. Awesome, appreciate you. So yeah, I would have to look at the timestamps. You were obviously commenting on some of my stuff. Excellent point. Exactly. Woo, fantastic points. CDP, yeah, good point there. Looking forward. Yep. So you already heard about it, JP, one of the larger ones. He said in the comments here, looking forward to the GHL integrations for my DAS agency. Oh, the integrations. We also have an MBP coming up with GHL. So I thought that's what you were referencing there. I let the cat out of the bag a little, but that's okay. Adam already has, and we already have the agreement in place. We're just finalizing some stuff on the back end and jiving everything on how that's going to look and when that's going to launch. So again, that kind of ties right back into where I led in, right? MVPs, and then leading out with a big one and a tease with a company. I always say it's very similar to what I read back in the Dream 100. Russell Brunson talks about it. Dana Derricks was the one that wrote the book that I read. That actually goes back to an older strategy. When I first read it, I didn't know that came from a prior Dream 100 strategy. But regardless, Dana's book was great. But one of the things that both Russell and Dana will say in both those instances in the book, or when Russell talks about this, is go big when you go for these. Go for the people that you never think you have a chance of working with, and you'll be surprised who's happy to promote or recommend your services if you're really good at what you do, if it really complements what they do, right? All of those type of things. So I'll leave it at that, guys, today. If you have anything you want me to go into more depth, anything that, as I say, I know this one was more hodgepodge and miscellaneous, but as JP could, as you could see by his comments, there was definitely things in here that you can take away, right? I can use this aspect of how I target people. I can be more intentional about my outreach approach and my message and talking more about them, right? I can be more particular about the prerequisites and how I'm looking for MBPs, or am I using, approach 1 or approach 2 that you mentioned that you use, Ray, or both, or maybe am I tweaking it a little because my niche or my industry is a little different, right? But there's all these things that you can be looking at and that I'm going over, and at least pick one that you can go implement and embed and go get some results with it, because this stuff works, guys. And that's why I like to show you the results. I'm not saying this stuff because we're not making money with this, and all this stuff I showed you in here, the revenue, as you guys hear me talk about that last screen with 86K and just under 70K, that's just new revenue into the platform. I mean, we already have hundreds of thousands in monthly recurring revenue. That's just new revenue and new sales coming in daily and monthly and new appointments. I mean, we have well over 1,000 users paying us pretty good monthly premiums for access to our platform, our software, our continued support, development, training, our communities, our workshops, all the stuff that we provide. So again, our clients and students can succeed just like the partners that we forge. So I'm going to leave it at that for today, guys. Hope this was helpful. Whether you're watching here on Facebook Live, the replay on YouTube when I post this, YouTube, like, subscribe, all that stuff, which I never say and nobody ever does, and obviously because I'm not doing it till 45 minutes in. But more importantly, I just really love to hear a comment of what you're going to take away, what you're going to implement, or what you'd like me to cover in more depth or talk about on future live streams. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in and watching, and looking forward to seeing some comments and hearing your feedback.